Spring football practice cranks back up this week, but the recruiting has not stopped. And one of the country's most prolific quarterbacks is coming to Alabama again. We're going to talk about Juju Lewis and what he brings to the table. How about Alabama basketball? They're going back to the tournament. We're going to get into that. Robert Gillespie, should we be worried? Is he going to Ohio State? His name's being mentioned. And Alabama baseball. Don't talk a lot of baseball on here, but they earned it. Huge series win against Tony Vitello's Tennessee Volunteers, including a come-from-behind win in that rubber game. All that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Great to see you guys on this Monday. Let's get this party started like this. What do you say, everybody? In a Roll Tide, there he is, big sexy Elmo. You guys know him from WJLX Radio in Jasper and Jasper Sports and the show at Brett Elmore Show. I'm Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Share with your Bama friends. And Big Elmo, we got a lot to talk about, man. What a good weekend for Alabama. Some momentum coming in. And let's just start right there with Juju Lewis. This is a guy out of that Georgia, Atlanta area, coached by the same coach that helped Trevor Lawrence become one of the best quarterbacks in college before he went to the NFL. He's trained by the same guy that trained Lawrence and Justin Fields, and he's committed to USC, but Alabama is in hot pursuit. First off, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, Mick. Welcome into another week, and looking forward to talking some football with you and some basketball, baseball. Football cranks back up practice tomorrow after spring break. But, yeah, Juju Lewis is a guy that we've talked about a lot on the show here. And over in the Peachtree State, the high school he plays for there in the largest division in the state, Carrolton High School over in Carrolton, Georgia. And over the past couple of years, Mick, he's led this team to a 25-3 record. He's a superstar in the world of Georgia athletics. Just one of the top athletes, top recruits. He's going to be a prize for someone, but who will that someone be? Hopefully it's going to be Alabama.
Joey King is a high school football coach that he plays under at Carrolton High School. He works with Ron Veal, who's one of the great trainers. You know, you talked about what he's been able to accomplish on the football field. He has been coming to Alabama camps forever, right? But it was Nick Saban as head coach. Now he's getting to know this new coaching staff, and they're giving him a lot of attention. Coach DeBoer came to visit him. He met Ryan Grubb before he left. Now getting a chance to meet Nick Sheridan, coming to Tuscaloosa on March the 7th. Although he's a USC commitment, he's leaving it open in the 5-star. I just got this good feeling that he's going to be impressed with this coaching staff, and I feel like that he could be on flip watch before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think it's probably official that he's on flip watch. A lot of people say the only thing probably negative about him would be they're leery about his size, 6'1", 185, but he's got all the intangibles, so let's face it, this guy was the Max Preps Freshman of the Year and the Max Preps National Sophomore of the Year. He was finalist for the Gatorade National Player of the Year award back in 2023. Guy is the real deal, but that USC commitment, he is committed pretty hard, but still, it's anybody's ball game, and hopefully Robert Gillespie will kind of sway him. I think he's the one recruiting him over there in Carrolton.
He's going to have a coach who's dedicated to wide receivers. If you're a quarterback, you come to Alabama, you know that you're going to have the best targets, which has been something that everyone knows anyway. I mean, Nick Saban established that with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Judy Ruggs,
Yeah.
Smitty, Waddle,
The list goes on.
Yeah, right.
And on.
Mitchie, Williams, it just keeps going, right? And I think that Alabama's about to kind of find that same groove again with wide receivers, just looking at what Jamarcus Shepard and obviously Coach DeBoer have been able to do. I think this is going to be an area where Alabama is going to jump back into that same spot that they were before, because I feel like we've had some down years receiving wise. Although last year the guys made the catches, couple years before that kind of felt like it was sinking. Now it's going back up. And if you're a quarterback that can throw the football as well as Lewis, and you got an opportunity to go play at Alabama, I think that's something, and you don't have to go to the other side of the world to do it. California sounds great until you got to go to California all the time. Driving over to Tuscaloosa from Georgia's, a short trip, but we'll see what happens. 35 plus offers that this guy has. And just to get the opportunity to play for the coach who helped Trevor Lawrence get to where he was at Clemson. And then, obviously Veal, his strength coach, working with guys like Fields, who, by the way, was just traded by the Bears to the Steelers, and Lawrence. This guy's got that pedigree as well. But you mentioned Robert Gillespie, and his name is in the news now too. Although I haven't heard from any of my sources that Robert Gillespie is leaving. But he is being mentioned on some Ohio State sites as a potential replacement for Tony Alford, who went from Ohio State to Michigan, which is kind of crazy. I mean, can you imagine that? You're leaving Ohio State to go to their arch rival. You also have maybe the two best running backs that Ohio State's had in a long time, Trayvon Henderson, who could have went to the NFL last year and didn't, and Quinshawn Judkins, who was at Ole Miss, set all those, was like basically like the second guy after Herschel Walker to score all those touchdowns as a freshman and sophomore. He's there. So I guess, it would be it would definitely be a tantalizing job. But Robert Gillespie just got promoted to, to a new position, assistant head coach. He's been beloved by this coaching staff. I know it's business, but I just think that it's a stretch.
You could throw any name out there. I think that's more of a wish list that is out there. And of course, he's going to be mentioned for jobs. I don't think he's going anywhere. I would be probably 99% sure he's not going anywhere. I think he's set in stone just like everybody else at Alabama. He's doing a great job with the recruiting trail. They just got spring started. So no, I don't think he's going anywhere, but who knows? Like you say, you never know, but I don't think so.
Got some good news on the basketball front. I know that the way that the regular season ended wasn't the way that any of us wanted to see it conclude, right? Mm-hmm. Lost to Florida, first round for Alabama in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, they had the double bye. And then, ended the year with a win against Arkansas where they had to come from behind and they were down big. They lost to Florida. They lost the game before that at home to Tennessee, which really took them from the driver's seat of the regular season championship. And they ended up a 3 seed in the SEC tournament. They haven't played great defense. It really does feel like they're backpedaling. They're trying to get healthy. Rylan Griffin hasn't been himself. Reitzel had the concussion. He was gone. Now he's back. Mo got suspended. Hasn't been the same to me since. And we just got to get that defensive hunger back. But with all of that said, it really didn't change a whole lot other than they're a 4 seed in the West Regional Friday, Spokane, Washington. And here's the bracket.
Yeah. Well, Bama's 21-11. Charleston is 27-7. The only statistical category they really have us beaten on is that opponent's points per game. Alabama's given up 81 points a game. and Charleston's given up 72. Now Bama's they could put the numbers up offensively. They average over 90 points a game, and Charleston is right at 80 points a game. I think the bottom line is Alabama's strength of schedule and who they've had to play. Charleston's strength of schedule is 173rd, according to CBS. And but the momentum goes in the direction of Charleston. And their last, if you look at the last 10 games, Alabama's went 5-5 and Charleston's went 10-0.
Yeah. Yep.
So Bama's backing into the tournament. Charleston is going full speed. Interesting matchup, but opening round, if you can get past that opening round, you kind of calm down a little bit. And I think Alabama could take care of business. Interesting that Alabama, Auburn, and UAB are all playing in the opening round in Spokane, even though they're in different brackets.
Hey, they can share a charter flight.
Everybody
meet in Birmingham.
Everybody meet in Birmingham. We'll say Spokane or bust.
Yeah. What a weird, travel for teams from Alabama. But you know what, though? Bama's played Gonzaga there, they or at least in Washington.
Yeah.
And I don't think that traveling for them to play games is anything different because Nate Oates has gone and played the best around the country on a regular basis, including this year when Alabama went to Creighton and they went to Arizona. And I'm really proud of where this basketball program is. I know it's hasn't looked like the way that Nate Oates wants it to look down the stretch, but it's a new season. And maybe he can convince these guys, look, you got one more chance to play good defense. Just do it. If everyone buys in and everyone wears their hard hat, there's no telling how far Alabama can go. Charleston's playing great basketball, but they got to go on the road too. St. Mary's, it's, actually for St. Mary's, that's about as, they're a Bay Area team. So that's not too far for them. Plus, they play in Washington a lot. That would be a second round game. Bama played North Carolina, beat them in 4 overtimes a couple years ago. Michigan State, always dangerous in the tournament on the other side. And then, so hopefully Alabama gets to that Sweet 16. And I would love to see the Alabama-North Carolina matchup. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, it would be. This is a tough bracket. But it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to see that Carolina-Bama matchup.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. And guys, again, even though it didn't end the regular season and the tournament the way that we wanted it to, be appreciative of where this program is, that we're disappointed with a 4 seed, and we're not disappointed to be in the tournament as a 4 seed. We're just disappointed in the defense that this team has played here lately, but that can change in a second. You got the best coach we've had in years and years and years. And, I like the fact that Alabama can score the bucket, score those buckets and let's see what happens in this tournament. I'm not ready to put them on upset alert like Reese Davis, who's an Alabama alumnus, but I get it, man. You mentioned it. You're 5-5. You haven't played a lot of defense. They've been rolling and they've won 10 in a row at 14 of 15 or something. So they're a basketball team that's very confident, but all that changes when they tip off and, we'll see what happens because Alabama can score a ton of points in a hurry. And all it takes is just a little confidence to get things turned around.
All you got to do is just fill up that basket.
Yeah.
Play a little bit of defense.
We don't
fill
talk
up that basket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't talk baseball on here, Alabama baseball that much, but I got to give the team a lot of credit, man.
Yeah.
They won on Sunday, 7-6. And come from behind fashion. They beat number 4 Tennessee, one of the great teams in the country, 2 out of 3. All 3 games were contested, although Tennessee won, had a pretty big win on Friday. But Alabama, they're just grinders, man. And if you can beat Tennessee, and the SEC's tough. I mean, you know that. Every series is going to be tough. But if you can beat Tennessee in a series, you can beat anybody else in the conference in a series.
Yeah. Yeah. The win over Tennessee marks the first time Alabama has opened SEC play with a series victory since 2016.
Wow.
We took 2 out of 3 from LSU that year. And then the win over Tennessee was the Tide's first series win against a top 5 opponent since May 4 through 6 of last season, when we beat then number 5 ranked Vanderbilt. So get out and support these guys. I think they had a crowd of about 4,500 people there to watch the victory. Congratulations to Gage Miller. He came up big.
Huge 3-run homer.
Huge 3-run homer. He has reached base safely in all 20 of their games.
That's awesome.
Get out and enjoy the baseball, man. Baseball and softball there at Alabama.
Yeah, Bama softball salvaged the final game of their series at number 4, right? Number 4, Georgia.
Yeah.
And got hammered the first 2 games, but then come back and won the game on Sunday. And that was including their trip to Florida State, where they beat the Seminoles and then taunted them on social media, which was surprising to me.
Yeah,
did you see that? It was like something about the committee. I'm going, well, the committee wasn't really worried about softball.
No.
Can't blame the committee. They were worried about football. Yeah. 2 different sports, guys.
Two different sports, but the baseball team is 17-3 on the season. So let's get behind these guys.
All right, roll tide. All right, Brett. Anything else before we bid everyone farewell?
Just glad St. Patrick's Day is over with. We get to start another work week. We got practice this week. Tomorrow, the guys are back on the gridiron. So hopefully we'll have some great things to talk about all week long. And glad you're feeling better and
back on
and roll tide to you.
Yeah, roll tide, man. All right, and don't forget, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi, right there at the Golden Moon Casino. You got the Timeout Sports Lounge for that Vegas-style sports book. You've got, on top of that, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the Augusta that you can play. Really fantastic golf course out there. Table games, slots, and then, Brett, a lineup of music that a guy like you who loves going to the live shows can't beat.
Man, we missed Kool and the Gang this past week.
Yeah. Kool and the Gang just played, right? So now we're rolling in the Wallflowers. You got Lone Star, Big and Rich are going to be there. Boys to Men, Brian McKnight. I mean, it is a star-studded lineup for these shows at Pearl River.
Yeah, next show will be Saturday, May 4th, 8 o'clock with the Wallflowers. That'll be one you definitely want to check out.
All right. That's Pearl River Resort. All right, guys, thanks. For Brett Elmore, I'm Mick Gillispie. Roll Tide, everybody.